There's no doubt about it. Gwen, especially in her Spider-Gwen persona, is by far the most popular love interest for Miles. While Miles does have other romantic interests in different stories and adaptations, Gwen truly stands out from the crowd. What makes their dynamic so captivating is how well they complement each other. Their relationship is intricate, yet it's been thoughtfully developed, particularly in the Spider-Verse films. In this video, I'm going to share a few reasons why I believe Gwen is the ultimate love interest for Miles. First and foremost, Gwen is an incredibly strong character in her own right. She's not just defined by her relationship with Miles. She has her own unique story and personality that makes her interesting and relatable. It's refreshing to see a character who stands on her own, showcasing her strengths and adventures independently. Many love interests in various stories often only shine when they're paired with their significant other. If you take them out of that relationship context, they can seem less significant or compelling. That's not the case with Gwen. Whether she's teaming up with Miles or facing challenges on her own, she still has a strong fanbase and a captivating presence. This independence is what makes her the perfect love interest. She's not just an accessory to Miles. She's a fully realized character who brings her own traits and story to the table. Their connection enhances both of their narratives, rather than overshadowing Gwen's individuality. Another reason I believe Gwen is the perfect match for Miles is how naturally their relationship is being developed, especially in the Spider-Verse movies. When we look at the comics, things feel quite different. To be honest, the romance between them in the comics comes across as rushed and lacking the depth that we see in the films.
You know, it really is always so great to talk to you.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, how many people can you talk to about this stuff?
I have a theory about why there hasn't been much interaction between Miles and Gwen in the comics. Into the Spider-Verse concept started to form in 2012 and 2013, and it took about 5 to 6 years for that vision to come together, culminating in the movie's release in 2018. Miles made his comic debut in 2011, and Gwen followed a few years later in 2014. The last time the two of them had a significant interaction in the comics was around 2016 to 2017, just a year or two before the movie came out. What I'm getting at is that it seems clear the creators wanted Miles and Gwen to eventually be together, but they simply didn't have enough time to flesh out their relationship properly in the comics. This leads to a somewhat unsatisfactory feeling for many people. Their interactions feel rushed and lack the emotional weight and struggles that are so beautifully portrayed in the movies. In the comics, you'll notice that there's a line where Gwen mentions they should just be friends for now. This leaves the door open for their relationship to develop further down the road. I think the people behind the Spider-Verse movies recognized that they had more room to develop their bond in the cinematic universe, which is exactly what we're seeing right now. People have really fallen in love with their relationship in the movies, and what's interesting is that the Spider-Verse films don't solely focus on the romance. Yet, the emotional beat of their love story outshines many films that are actually centered around romantic themes. I think one reason we don't see a lot of interaction between them in the comics right now is because of the ongoing development of their relationship in the movies. Keeping them apart allows for the anticipation to build about whether they will ultimately end up together. If they were involved in the comics now, it might take away some of that excitement people feel as they look forward to the next film. Plus, it's worth noting that Miles is currently dating another character in the comics, but I believe that might be a temporary situation. Once the Spider-Verse franchise concludes, there will be a lot more of Miles and Gwen in the comics. This is just my theory, of course, and I could be wrong. But when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. To be honest, I'm not a huge comic reader. I enjoy some but don't follow it closely. However, if this theory holds water, it seems likely that Gwen will eventually become Miles' primary love interest in the future. Another reason I believe Gwen is the best girl for Miles is that it's genuinely groundbreaking to see two Spider-People in a romantic relationship. Typically, we see Spider-Man paired with a human love interest, which is fine, but it's rare to have two superheroes, especially ones with similar powers and backgrounds dating each other. Their dynamic is fascinating, as showcased in Across the Spider-Verse, where we see them swinging through the city during their adorable little spider date. Just think about how fun their dates would be since they both have spider abilities. They could go on adventures and explore the city in ways that regular couples simply can't. On top of that, the fact that they come from different universes adds a huge layer of complexity to their relationship. Imagine the challenges they face just to be together. They would have to travel between dimensions, which is an ultimate test of their love. There's a lot of speculation that their universes are gonna merge together, and that this Miles and Gwen are the origin of the Earth 8 version in the comics where they are married and have kids. Their relationship isn't just an easy breezy romance, it's filled with obstacles that test their commitment and strength as a couple. People are naturally drawn to these kinds of stories where love has to overcome challenges because it makes the relationship feel more real and engaging. Despite being from completely different universes, the bond between them remains strong, showing that love can withstand distance and adversity. Now, just imagine if after the Spider-Verse movies wrap up, we got a series that continues their story. It would be amazing to dive deeper into their relationship and explore how they navigate their unique dynamic, the struggles they face, and how they grow together if they end up officially together by the end of Beyond the Spider-Verse. I can picture the kinds of episodes that would focus on their adventures, the challenges, and how they support each other through it all. Realistically speaking, I really doubt we're gonna have a series after the movies, but if we do, it will be an awesome chance to develop their relationship even more. In the movies, we really see how emotionally connected Gwen is to Miles. He's actually her first meaningful connection after the heartbreaking loss of her best friend Peter. That makes their bond significant, especially since the two most important people in her life are Miles and her father. It's kind of funny and frustrating at the same time when some people try to downplay or deny that Gwen loves Miles. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion about their relationship, and that's totally fine. But let's be honest, saying that she doesn't love Miles feels like a stretch and honestly a bit of denial. What I really appreciate is how the creators are taking their time to develop their story. In Into the Spider-Verse, the story primarily revolves around Miles, but Across the Spider-Verse shifts the focus more towards Gwen. Although it's still Miles' story, we get to see a lot of Gwen's perspective, which enriches the narrative. This kind of storytelling showcases both characters beautifully, allowing us to understand their struggles and strengths. With Gwen's character undergoing significant changes, especially after she discovered that canon events can be broken without any negative consequences, and given her determination to make things right with Miles, it sets the stage for an incredible redemption arc. The fact that they have already become an iconic couple, even though they aren't officially together yet, illustrates just how well their story is being crafted. It's impressive to see how people who may not even be into romance are drawn into their storyline. This really highlights what great storytelling looks like when it comes to developing a love story.